I think that Meatyard would discourage us from trying to get to the facts, trying to figure out who is it, what is that child doing there, what is that object in the foreground, and instead ask you, how do you feel when you look at that photograph? Meatyard was born in 1925 in Illinois. He came of age toward the end of the Second World War, and it was only in 1950, when his first son was born, that he bought a camera. What he would do is gather up his family, and he would place them in these backgrounds and direct them as a director in a production.
One of the challenges that the Blanton has had is that we've not had a photography collection. And the Ransom Center has a phenomenal photography collection. So the next step in that process was inviting Jessica McDonald, their curator, in to present ideas to us. This exhibition that she presented, the Ralph Eugene Meatyard, is a project that all of us at the museum loved. Many reasons for that. One, beautiful photographs, really important in the kind of history of photography, and a real crucial moment from an art museum's perspective in an artist that was taking the kind of history of photography and switching it to one that's more creative, where he's creating narratives as opposed to just simply documenting the world out there.
In 1967, he decided to deliberately and systematically begin photographing poets he admired, poets he encountered in one way or another. And he did this by reading their work intensely, trying to really understand the emotion and the intelligence that was evoked through the poetry, and to try to evoke that through the photographs.
Meatyard's close relationship with a number of other writers means that he's clearly reading poetry and thinking about his art in poetic terms. I think Meatyard's interest in the relationship between, again, the historical relationship between literature, especially poetry, and photography, really helps us to frame his photographs as commentaries on art. So we see that, I think, especially the care with which he takes Zukofsky. That is maybe the one great author profile of the 20th century. We get this extraordinary image that seems to capture what the experience of reading this man's crazy poetry is like. He is trying to produce little poems.
Meatyard wore one mask to work. He wore one mask at home. He wore another when he was discussing literature and film with his friends from the English faculty. He probably wore a different mask when he was going out to the Abbey to meet with Thomas Merton. We all take on different personas or wear different masks in different parts of our lives. Meatyard was a Little League coach. He was the head of the local PTA. But at the same time, he's really pushing all the boundaries of his art in photography and creating works that even push and sometimes confuse his colleagues that have the same goals as he has.
He's acknowledging the problems of fiction in any representational art, and especially photography with its claim to sort of documentary truth, by sort of upending that and showing the real artifice, the real sense of a posed image, exaggerated masks, sort of decrepit backgrounds. The constant blurring in his photography really forces viewers to stop and say, there's some sort of fiction here.